violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird, kid. Worse than that, right?
Yes, it is here. It is the After Hours Whatever Fest. What is cooking? Good lookings. Isn't it funny that I can't see you guys? You guys are all staring at me, and I can't see you guys. Isn't that weird? I don't know. Maybe not. So what's happening? Jeremy's here. Salty's here. Postman's here. Big Green. Frankie's here. I see somebody saying sub to Frankie from Flatbush's channel. I could not agree more. Really. If for nothing else, I don't think there's any real debate going on about the silkiest, smoothiest voice out of all the Jets content guys. Dude, that's Frankie. I don't know if you guys, if you're not aware, you need to go check that out right now. Not right now, but after this. Go over there and check out Frankie's silky smooth goodness. Ah, so good. It's like, hey, baby, how you doing over there? That's what he sounds like. He's like, come on over to Frankie's studio and I'll relax you for a while I tell you all the bad news from the Jets. That's what he does. And then he says so much negative stuff, but it's done well. It's done smooth. So what's up? Silva's here. What's up, man? Liam, what's good with you, my friend? Robbie Oak is here. Mr. Magix. It's good to see you guys. Well, Mr. Magix, I haven't been anywhere really. I traveled up for the game on Sunday, and I didn't get home till, I think it was like 10:30. I got to Charlottesville 10:30, and I got home at like 11 a.m. yesterday. I drove from 4 a.m. on, so I just took the day. I had to catch up, and today I'm editing. I was editing most of the day. I'll release the podcast tomorrow. I'll be done with it. Like after we're done here, I'll put on the finishing touches. Lots of footage from the day, hanging with Ryan and Matt and Sack Exchange and a lot of you guys, a whole bunch of you guys. John Amarello was there. And then the Let's Talk Jets guys, Fireman Ed, lots of that stuff, lots of good stuff. Hey Gary, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. So that's where I was, Mr. Magix. I'm just getting it all in today. That's where. I'm a day behind because during the season I can't get the podcast out on Monday. It's not real. I tried. I was up till 4 a.m. the week before editing stuff. I was like, I can't do it. Even though I don't technically work in the morning like a lot of us do. I don't do that right now, but let me tell you, man, it's still not easy. I got the kids and everything else. So Friggle D's here. What's up, man? Woody in Connecticut saw you and Matt at the game through binoculars. Matt looked red even from across the stadium. You know what's funny? Number one, that's touch creepy, but I'm in. You were looking. I'm with you. That's cool, man. But we were talking about it. Like we were on the sunny side. Like the other half of the stadium later in the day got some shade. We were like, oh, look how good that looks. And then we were looking up and we were making comment. There was not a single cloud in the sky, not a puff of reprieve from the universe. Nothing. It was just like beep for hours and hours and hours. So it's good to see you guys here. Yeah, man. Right on, Gary. I agree. Bismo Charismo's in town. Yeah, so I know, right? The game was a dud for sure. And it was a dud from the word go. It was like our defense came out, played well, got the fumble, and they blew it dead like they do so many times. Jets, Patriots. There's always something. There is. And people can say whatever they want to say. And they can call us crybabies or whatever they want to say. But dude, I'm here. I watched every single Jets Patriots game for the last 40 years. All right. I know what I'm looking at. And I knew as soon as it happened, we weren't getting that. I knew it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's par for the course. It's the same stuff every friggin' time. The only reprieve we got was the Rex Ryan years, where Rex was 3-2 against Bill Belichick up to that 2010 playoff game. That was our year. We should have won the damn Super Bowl, and we could have. We absolutely could have. But they treated the Patriots as their Super Bowl, and they came out flat against Pittsburgh. And you can't do that. Whatever, dude, Pittsburgh was going on their 6th Super Bowl ring, and we're going in there overconfident like we already beat them. Like, what is that, dude? And that's the Jets. We're not seasoned. We're not built for that yet. That emotional high point. We won the Super Bowl in their brains. Santonio Holmes, Braylon Edwards, and Kotry doing the jet thing and all the shit. Can't wait. All that stuff. I loved it. I ate it up. But they couldn't keep it up for the next game. Nice comeback, right? So, look, what we're watching here, Billy. See, I like Billy. Billy's okay. Billy's not afraid to say what he thinks either. I like that about you, Billy. I'm not insinuating any one of you are afraid, but I just happen to notice Billy consistently. Billy SBC. That stands for salty buttocks cakes. What do you think? Is that what it stands for? How'd I do? But I agree, man. I think, look, you know I'm a fan, right? And I don't make any bones, about being one. I don't pretend I'm not. I don't want to have that discussion. I don't like being purely objective. I'm here because I'm a fan, dude. That's what I'm doing here. Now, I think I can be more objective than a lot of other fans, and that's cool. But what I'm seeing from my objective vantage point is I'm watching a young team that has never played together before, packed full of first-time NFL players, second-year NFL players, undrafted free agents, 6th-round picks, led by a first-time offensive coordinator, first-time head coach, whose wise, old, experienced offensive mind passed away right before the season started. That's what I'm watching. And I'm watching progress, nonetheless. Dude, Zach Wilson might have bipolar every other week. He might throw 4 picks, 3 touchdowns. We don't know. He might do was the counter argument that the reason that we didn't pull Zach Wilson is because they've been such a failure with the backup quarterback that Mike White is not an adequate second quarterback. So therefore we were stuck. And, this whole thing, it became this whole big batch of stuff. Now, me personally, I happen to disagree with that from the word go, in its entirety, that argument. I think that they would not pull Zach Wilson because they want him to get through this. They want this experience. I'm sure they would prefer the other kind of experience, just lighten up the league. I'm sure they would. But him throwing 4 picks and being benched, I don't know what lesson that, I don't know. It's like, no, dude, this is the bed you made. What are you going to do with it? Let's see if you can come back around and do X, Y, or Z. Let's see. As long as they support him, like Sam Darnold, the difference between the Zach Wilson show and the Sam Darnold show is that when Sam went to the sideline, he went there alone. The rookie year, he had McCown. The next 2 years, he had no one there. Adam Gase was absolutely not an in-game support coach, was not. Dowell Loggins was there at times, but he was a complete, fraud of an offensive coordinator. They had no quarterback coach. So Sam Darnold wasn't getting that support through this. Zach Wilson is supported, man. Number one, he has a quarterback coach, albeit a new one. But we have John Benton as an offensive mind. We brought in Matt Cavanaugh in an attempt to replace anything that Greg Knapp, with his death, left us with. And that's why LaFleur is on the sideline. We talked about that piece. So I think we're going to see a lot of stuff this year that's not really what we root for as fans. But remember what Saleh said, man. He said, we understand and appreciate the urgency from fans. At the same time, we are not going to sacrifice the long-term goal to appease that urgency. That's the most true statement I've ever heard. You know what I mean? So that's the way it goes. Last year's, it sucks because I actually liked last year's. I liked that offensive line coach too. I did like him. I forget his name already. It's crazy. But I liked the assistant offensive line coach, Frazier. I liked him too. What the hell was that guy's name? It's funny to me how sieve-like my brain can be. But it doesn't matter. They weren't helping Sam. He didn't go to the sideline and have any support. Like, he sat there alone a lot of the time. He just sat on the sideline by himself. It's crazy. So I think that's where it's different. And when you have support around you, bad times are not so bad. They're constructive. When you're alone, bad times can be bad. Raw power. We should have put Fields. Oh, wait, he stunk too. Yeah, I mean, dude, they're rookies, right? It's very common for a rookie to look like one. It's very common, right? Fields looked like one. I think Fields is going to be great. I really do. And not for nothing, like I told you guys, I was split right down the middle. And I would have been happy with a trade back and Mac Jones or one of the other guys. Trey Lance, if he made it that far. I was totally with that. But I liked the Zach Wilson pick. But I think Justin Fields is going to be a very exciting player in this league. He's got the worth ethic. He has the arm talent. He's got the legs. He just needs to be coached in some areas. But I like him. I like him, man. I think Fields has he's got a rookie year too, right? And Trevor Lawrence throwing picks, throwing touchdowns, but he's throwing picks. So, I think we're going to see what we see, guys. Craig, what's up, Craig? Craig Safola, thank you, my friend. Don't you think Zach really needs a veteran quarterback mentor, someone who can hold his hand through these early days? I don't understand why he doesn't have one. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. And don't forget, Josh Johnson is still on the team. So he's there. He's on the practice squad, but he's there. He's on the team. So we have that. But number two, they brought in Matt Cavanaugh to be that. Matt Cavanaugh has been an offensive coordinator and quarterback coach and offensive assistant for, 20 years, 16 years, something like that. So I think they have that. So LaFleur is on the sideline specifically for that, but don't forget, LaFleur is new to this role. He's been on offenses, of course, before. He's a passing game coordinator. It's a natural progression up, like he's supposed to be here. Make no mistake. But that's, he's got a lot to learn still. Calling the plays and all that's a little different. But that's why we have Rob Calabrese and Matt Cavanaugh. And originally it was Greg Knapp for that exact reason. It was to work with the quarterbacks. When Joe Brady was down at LSU, his job, he wasn't the offensive coordinator. He was the passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach. But through that wide receivers coach, and his own words, he got to work exclusively with the quarterbacks quite a bit. So quarterbacks meaning Joe Burrow. So the passing game coordinator thing, it's and the offensive assistant, that's what they're there to do. Like Matt Cavanaugh is there because the void left by Greg Knapp was large. He was a major piece to this offense. So I like that. They took some time. They respected, the passing of Greg Knapp. They didn't just go out and replace him the next day. They waited a month or 2 months, whatever it was, I forget. And they did a little search. And Matt Cavanaugh, the fact that he was still out there is really, I think it's very fortunate for us because he's experienced, very experienced, and he's had some successful offenses. He was our he was our quarterback coach for Mark Sanchez. Remember? If you can get that guy to look good. So I think it's going to be a process. So I don't disagree, Craig, that having that quarterback is a positive, but I think I do go back to a previous time where it wasn't the quarterback's job to mentor a rookie. It was the quarterback coach's job to do that. It was the offensive coordinator's job to do that. You look at through the years, you had a backup quarterback that wasn't as good as the starting quarterback. That's what his job was. It wasn't so much Not to say it never happened, but it wasn't as it is seen today. Like every rookie quarterback is supposed to have a vet to like be the coach. And like, again, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think it optimally, sure. But I don't think it's a negative that we don't. I think they have young quarterbacks. They still have Josh Johnson on the team and they have coaches, and they're going to let the coaches coach. I think Zach's fine, dude. I think that game was a major clam. It sucked. It sucked to be the Jets fan that I am, and been around as long as I am. You know what I mean? Like I sat in that stadium honestly, like there were games like in December. It was like against the Colts when they were in our division, and we would lose like 6-3, and there was probably 2,000 people in the whole building. And I was there, clapping with my gloves, sitting on a stack of newspapers for my ass to be not freezing off, and just drinking hot cocoa that we brought in. That's what we did, But I've seen all this before. It sucks to go in there and have all that energy, man, and to lose like that. There's no way to say it. But I saw progress in almost every other capacity. C.J. Mosley was a totally different player. Even Quincy Williams got in the mix. Our defensive line was creating pressure. Not the pressure maybe I'd hope, but don't forget, we lost our two main pass rushers. We're working in new dudes. Shaq Lawson looks pretty good. He does. He's not Carl Lawson. But so anyway, I'm seeing progress. And going back to the original comment that I put up there, it's like, I think we're winning this weekend. I think at some point you're going to see it. You're going to see everybody fire at the same time. And that's going to be deadly. That's what I think. I think we have a lot of talent. This isn't 2019, man, when we looked around our roster and we were like, oh, you know what I mean? Ooh. Like I see talent all over the place. It's just young and inexperienced talent. Salmon Jets, my friend. What's up, buddy? He says, I'm reading trolls online and they're saying we might go winless until December, GreenBean. Yeah, we might. That's the great thing about saying shit about the future, isn't it, Salmon? Salman? Is it Salmon or Salman? I think it's Salman, right? Like two names, like your name is Sal. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's Salman. I don't know. You can tell me what it is. I'll look through the comments. I think that it's really easy to be a thing, It's like I was raised on fighting. Like my whole family likes to fight. And all my friends that I grew up with, I lived in a town where we would fight for fun. We would go to the woods. We hung out in the woods and rode dirt bikes and shit. And we would drink beer and we'd fight each other. That's what we did. So I thought that fighting meant you were tough. What I learned later in life is that fighting, punching, hitting something is the first defense skill after crying. So you develop that skill at the age of 2, and then most men, or not most, but a lot of men never get past that. Never get past that. So, being a troll, trolls are going to troll, man. And it's easy to be a troll because you say, wait, hold on a second. You say the Jets aren't going to win anything till December. Well, what can I say to that? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right. Somebody will be right later. Now, the troll's wrong if we win one game. And I think they are. They can go suck it. Suck a lemon, Sal, man. You know what I mean? All right, let me get to another super chat here. New York Jets Tales. What's up, my friend? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Why aren't we seeing more short pass attempts to tight ends and running backs? Let Zach settle down and move the chains. Felt like he tried to push the ball too much. Yeah, absolutely. Now, week 1, I think that they weren't designed into the game plan, which was a big mistake. Week 2, I saw a whole bunch of that. Now, let's take a look real quick. Let me look at some stats. I'm going to pull out my stat book here. So we threw, let's see. Ryan Griffin had 2 targets. Tyler Croft had 2 targets. Michael Carter had 3 targets. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 targets. Now, in fairness, we didn't have all that many, our offense was stagnant. So we gave the ball away a lot. So that stunted a lot of our drives. Berrios, conversely, had 11 targets. Elijah Moore had 8. Now, Elijah Moore having 8 targets is fine with me. He caught 4 of those. Now, I don't remember if they were drops or whatever. Jeff Smith had 2 targets. He caught 1. Michael Carter had 2 receptions, 3 targets. Again, Ryan Griffin, Tyler Croft, and then Corey Davis had 2 receptions on 5 targets. So I think we saw more of that, okay, than we did the first week of Jets Tales. But I think really, again, it just harkens back to having an offensive coordinator who's not really developed a smooth kind of way, play calling mentality, like attitude, like a system. He's trying to figure this thing out, Then you got the Denzel Mims thing. Then you got Braxton Berrios working harder than everybody else, whatever it is. So he's getting the ball. But I think underneath everything, Zach Wilson is also trying to do too much currently. I think there's some of that factored in too. Like, so you have we're down or whatever. He's trying to push the ball. He's trying to go for the big play when really what we need to do is be disciplined. And I don't know if he can do that yet. He's not realizing I think this week he saw the what's the word I'm looking for? Not derivatives, but he saw the downside. That's not the word, but he saw how dangerous that mentality really is. Like, don't forget, Zach Wilson, he was tossing it all over the place week 1. He did have the 1 pick, but he looked good. So I'm going to try it again. The coaches want me to look here or whatever, but I see him. He's open down there or whatever. It's all going to take time. But I think a lot of this is on LaFleur. I really do. I think the Denzel Mims thing is on LaFleur. I think a lot of this is on LaFleur. And just allowing him his time to develop. He's clearly a very, very wise offensive mind. He was Kyle Shanahan's right hand for 7 years, was it? He took him to 3 different places with him. So there's something to that. And he's been learning from one of the better offensive minds in the game. So he'll get it. But up till now, I think we're just seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of shit, man. A lot of stuff we don't want to see. Oh, Jeremy, yeah, I see it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, though. Let's see what else we got here. Free Mims, right on, Real Pat Dunn. That's what I'm saying. It's one of the things that bothers me the most about this year. Like, look, we talked a lot. You and I, we hang out a lot, right? So, hold on. Knocked over the light again. It's like I keep touching wires and shit. Wires all over the place. So, I think, excuse me, I think we talked a lot about our record. We talked a lot about, how much, we're going to win, we're going to lose, expectations. And look, it's okay. It's fine. I like to have fun like that. I don't think there's any reason to be miserable in the off season. I just don't. That's me. I just don't think that. I think it's fine to play, to have some fun before we, inevitably get the rug pulled out from under us. Like shit. Just because the rug's going to get pulled out in 2 hours doesn't mean you shouldn't dance now. Like that's how I say, I'm going to dance. Don't ruin. But just my mentality. Don't ruin the whole night. It's already going to get ruined later. I might as well enjoy this, right? So we have our fun. But realistically, like I said on tonight's stream over at Ryan's channel, it's like I think we're gonna win 7 to 9 games depending on how the ball bounces. Now, if that's 6, I think it's a success. I really do. I would love to be that Cinderella team and get in the playoffs and just kind of take everybody by surprise. Like week 4, where just something happens and we're just smooth and fluid and nobody's getting hurt anymore. Yeah, I'm 100% into that. But I just don't know how realistic that is. So my own hopes are I want to see progress every week. Week 1 was a little bit harder for me because it was the offensive line. That was a unit that I was fully expecting to be better than that. Not well oiled. I just thought they'd be better than that. We Becton and ABT and McGovern and on and on. So I worry about Greg Van Roten, and rightfully so. But I thought Morgan Moses would start. You know what I mean? I thought we had, dude, these are real players. These are real NFL starters. So I thought it was going to be better. Now, the good news is week 2, they were better. That was the first time they ever played a game together. They got their asses kicked. But it wasn't, again, like we've talked about, it was more about missing assignments, being confused. So they worked on that clearly because it was not like that again this week. Now, going into Denver, we play a very good defense again, but I still think this is our 3rd week now together. And we'll see bad plays. We'll see missed assignments. It takes a while, man. It takes weeks, months to get this stuff. But I think we're seeing that. And that is a testament to the coaching, who is young and inexperienced and all, but they, I think that they know certain foundational pieces that we're seeing the derivative of. Right? There you go. I found a way to say derivative. So Jets Forever says, keep pushing the ball, Zach. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not see that, Jets Forever. I mean, I want to see him be fearless. So maybe that's where you're going with that one. I want to see fearless. But at the same time, I don't want to see foolishness. You know what I mean? Like, there is a difference. Taking what the defense gives you is an art. It's a skill that we do not see here very often. Like, look, game 1, when they're rushing when they're coming super aggressive, pinning their ears back with no respect to your running game, they're just coming to clear your quarterback. Dude, you change and you respond and you dink and dunk the shit out of them. Make them run this way and turn around and run the other way. Spread them out. You need to do those things. And quick. 2-second shot, 3 steps out. Boom, 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 boom. That's what you need to do. And they didn't do that. So, but then in order for that to work, the coaches have to call that. And then Zach has to employ that teaching. Like, he has to be able to uphold and maintain that discipline to do that. I know he's open downfield, but they're baiting you. Do what I said to do. That kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff, but it all can be whittled down to lack of experience. And that's what we knew going in. So I don't feel the same sky is falling. I'm quite the opposite. While I'm just as bummed, I don't have that long-term bummed that a lot of people have been expressing to me over the last couple of days. Like, dude, this is over. I'm like, I don't know. I don't see that. You could be right. Like, I get guys that they're waiting to tell me Joe Douglas sucks because I'm a Joe Douglas supporter for the most part. All right. See, I told you he sucks. Like, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see it. I'm not happy with the first draft class. There's lots of, dude, it doesn't matter. We're still only, this is the second game into the second year of a draft class. Like, we don't know. Zuniga could come back. Ashton Davis could come back. Fucking Becton, man. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't. Next year, like, it's a draft class. Draft classes take a minute. Now, that being said, I'm just as disappointed, but I don't see that. I love the way Joe Douglas has dismantled this organization and what he's doing to rebuild it. What I don't like is the coaches' calls right now. I don't like the personnel choices, and I don't love the play calling. But it was better this week. It was. So there you go, Josh Johnson. There you go. How behind am I on the chat? I got to scroll down a little bit. All right, Jeremy Cravat, thank you, buddy. I appreciate the super chat, man. Maybe they are doing Mims right for the long term. Maybe they are going to make him a more complete player in the long run. Maybe. Money for kids' college. I don't know what that last part means, Jeremy. I'm trying, but let me tell you this. Matt, Ryan, and myself got into a little convo just post the previous stream. And we talked about that for a minute. Like, we don't know. As unhappy as I am with it, and I am clearly, he's one of the players that I have the most hope for because I dug into Mims before the draft. I was really on top of that wide receiver class. And when Mims, out of all people, was sliding like I did, I liked the other two guys that were there when we first, I liked Claypool a lot. I liked Van Jefferson a lot. But I thought Mims was the best of them. And the fact that he was the guy that slipped, like I said, I thought it was finally we're getting the gift. We're getting the Michael Thomas. We're getting the Terry McLaurin. We're getting the DK Metcalf. He's sliding to us. So the fact that they're not using him pissing me off. But you're absolutely right, Jeremy. This could be exactly what he needs. It could be Parcellsian, right? Belichickian. No, fuck you. Sit down. I'm not, look, until your attitude changes, I'm not talking to you. And he pouts for 2 weeks. And then you turn around and you go, hey, you ready to talk yet? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, come on. Show me what you learned. I didn't learn anything. Well, sit the fuck down. Next week, come back. Tell me what you learned. I learned this, this, and this. Okay. So maybe that's what it is. And if that is what it is, then you got to applaud this coaching staff for having the guts to do this when they know the fan backlash is not positive. The press backlash has not been positive. So you got to give it to them. Let's hope that's what it is. What I think another possibility, though, Jeremy, is that they don't know what they're doing. And they don't like them yet. And we're going to lose them. Trade them because LaFleur can't figure it out. And then he's going to go somewhere else and be a perennial Pro Bowler because he can. He's got all those skills, man. All of it. Every bit of it. The only thing people can say is that he's not a crisp route runner, which is accurate. But he's a decent route runner. He's not terrible. But he knows how to get open on top of it. Throw him the ball. He catches it. So there you go. Salty Nalty in the house. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mims is benched for a reason and Saleh not telling what it is to protect him. That's right. It's kind of what I'm alluding to, right? I also don't believe Berrios was the primary target on most of his receptions. He was the check down. Well, some of them he was the primary target. Maybe not all of them. But there were plays designed to free Berrios when Zach Wilson was going one way and Berrios was the guy who popped out. It was designed to him. There was a few of those, at least. Now, admittedly, I only watched like half of the game on replay. So I haven't even sat down with it yet. So there's lots that I could learn, in fairness, okay? But that's the interesting thing, and that kind of dovetails with what I was just saying about Mims. In the event there is something up and they're teaching him a lesson, but they're not throwing him under the bus, then that would be a very, very loud and clear positive. And that's the thing. The issue I have, John, is that this coaching staff has made a couple other errors, in my opinion. So I'm not able to give that to them yet. I want to believe exactly that. I want to. But they haven't earned that yet in my brain. I struggle to get there. To me, it seems like a misstep. But it's very possible. What you and Jeremy were talking about fit nicely together. And that's the thing that I'm trying to find. I'm trying to get there. You know? But I like the thinking, man. I really do. If there's anything I'm not, it's a perpetual grumbler. Like I'm negative in my default setting, right? Like I'm just from the word go, I wake up like bullshit. Like that's just how it starts for me. I have to work to become positive. It's not easy for me. Okay. Truth. I work hard on it. But one of the things I never liked, especially when I was like running my own, businesses or like, being a director of whatever, like the person I couldn't deal with was the person who complained constantly at every single opportunity and rarely had a solution or rarely supported other solution suggestions. So like, I really want, like, even though I'll grumble about a decision in the first place, I'm always looking to hear what the other options could be. I'm always open. Okay. All right. Did you hear this nugget? No. And then you hear it and you go, okay. I like that. I like my mind being changed. I prefer it. One thing I can't stand is when I get stuck in that consistent grumble. Fucking bullshit. I hate it. I hate feeling like that. So I'm with you, buddy. I am. Let's see what else we got. I know what, you know what? He says he was stepping into his throws at times. That sounds like you might be talking about something else. But one thing I did notice, and I talked to Matt about it in the stands, was there was, I think, at least two that I noticed where he threw off his back foot. And one at least was a pick. And I just can't believe that an entirely new organization, an entirely new quarterback, an entirely new year, new weapons, new everything. And we see that again. Like that hop back step, back foot lob to the other team. Like I just can't believe that we're seeing that again. You know what I mean? I can't believe it that we're seeing that again. It sucks. It sucks that we got to see it. You know? Well, again, look, Owen, thank you for the comment, man. I don't disagree that he looks much better than, say, Tevin Coleman. But I don't know. So let's look at the numbers real quick. I think Michael Carter looked really good, man. But let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the rushing. So Michael Carter had 11 rushes for 59 yards. Ty Johnson had 12 rushes for 50 yards. And Tevin Coleman had 5 for 24. All of them above a 4-yard average. Ty Johnson had the lowest, 4.2, and Michael Carter 5.4. That's fantastic. So I think similarly to you, but I don't know if I would swing all the way there yet. He's the rookie. You know what I mean? He's the rookie. He's the liability. He dropped passes last week. You know what I mean? So I think he maybe earned it. I think that, you know, one of the things I said earlier in the season, my thought was that Ty Johnson would start, and by mid-season, by the end of the season, that Michael Carter would have supplanted him for that kind of bell cow, if there is one in our backfield. So, but I'm a little more cautious. And Michael Carter's the rook. Let's work him in the same way that we want to give other, you know, patience in other areas. We happen to have at least one, Ty Johnson, that's a pretty damn explosive back in his own right. So we could make sure Michael Carter has it. But I don't think that you're off on him becoming one. I think the kid's good, man. Breaking tackles, laying the wood. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Friggle D, thank you, sir, for the super chat. I also think Zach had some paralysis through analysis with the better protection this week. At BYU, scripts were written. NFL is all about adjustments. Dude, that's an astute observation. Like, you know, look, we hear it all the time. Zach Wilson's he's a football student, right? He's like a student of the game. He's studying constantly. He goes into Salah's office and they're talking for 2 hours about it. He's like, dude, you got to go to bed, damn it. Go to sleep already. So that's all great. But there is saturation point. You know, there is that piece. So, and then when so you're trying to figure it all out up here. And it's got to be, you got to know as much as you can know, and then kind of let yourself play the way you've always played, with that information accessible, but not relying upon it, not thinking all day, okay, you know. So, you know, it's like, what's his name? The guitar player. I think I might have said this last week. I'm getting a moment of deja vu, maybe. What is his name? B.B. King. He said, if you want to play guitar, learn everything you can possibly learn about your instrument, then forget everything and play. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You can only learn it all, but at some point, you got to put it down, play, and then work through that, feel it. Zach Wilson's good, dude. He's good. I'm liking what I see. I didn't like that freaking game. Don't get me wrong. But I like this kid. I liked him all through training camp and preseason, and I liked his grit in the first game. I don't know if you saw the one tackle he made on I think it was the third interception maybe, but he like ran through he didn't like do that quarterback thing when he just kind of moseying down the sideline and then he pushes him out of it. He ran through the entire field of play, through all the defenders and everything, and just lunged at his legs and tackled him solo style by himself. And I like that. He was like, I don't know. There's something to that. I know it's small. My quarterback makes the best tackles after he throws interceptions. It's not what you want to see. But you know what I mean? But I think you're onto something there, Friggly Dodad. Friggly Ding Dang. Friggly Dooch. Friggly Dooch. Okay. That was an interesting one, right? I can't wait to see that one again, Kyle. I've heard different assessments of that one, but admittedly, I have not seen it a second time. No, I haven't seen it to where I could look at it, So it's going to be interesting. I think there was some confusion on the route. They did two different. They said and they thought two different things were happening. Maybe that's very possible. I don't know if Elijah Moore strikes me as one who would quit on a route. But if he did, got to learn from that because he had some drops last week and then now quitting on a route. Right? This is the thing. When you start depending on rookies, there's as great as they might be. They're kids. As far as the NFL world is concerned, they're kids. These are young, brand new, fresh out of the box kids in the NFL. And losing like that, you might be like, I want this game to end already. Who knows? I'm not saying I saw anything like that, but who knows? Right? They got to learn that shit. They got to learn how to do this. Let's see what else you're talking about. Oh, Mr. Magix, what's up, buddy? Thank you, sir. I appreciate the super chat. Did you see JD was voted the GM trusted least by NFL agents? I'm not a fan of these greedy fucks, but it's concerning. No, there were two agents. Yeah, he was, look at the other people that were voted too, like Bill Belichick, those types of guys. So there were two comments by two agents. You want to bet they were Jamal's and Marcus May? The one guy said the same exact thing that Marcus May's agent said about Joe Douglas. I'll never trust him again, blah, blah, blah. I think while agents clearly serve a purpose, we know this. NFL players they've been taken advantage of for millennia, right? They needed these agents to come in and help them get their worth. And I support it. At the same time, I think agents are governed by greed. That's their thing. Like, look at the whole TJ Watt thing where he literally overruled his agent. The Steelers had an offer on the table that made him the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL. And they still wanted to squeeze another drop out of that diamond. And it's like, he just said, no, dude, we're good. He walked in, the office said, we have a deal. We're good. This is fine. I'm happy with this deal. So I think agents, when they meet a GM who's just not going to play their games with them and do the whole dance, then they don't like it. And that's not to say Joe Douglas is perfect with anything, but Corey Davis's agent didn't have any problems with Joe Douglas, right? Avery Williamson and the hell's the guy's name we sent to Tampa? You know the guy. Well, those guys, dude, Joe Douglas did them a solid. He took two guys that were longtime vets on a disgustingly loser-filled team, and he sent Avery Williamson to the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, and he sent McClendon, was his name, down to the Tampa Bay, and they eventually won a Super Bowl. You heard what McClendon said about Joe Douglas. He said, dude, that guy's solid. He did that for them. He got chump change. Avery Williamson, he got a 5th. That's decent. Steve McClendon, he gave up a 7th to get a 6th. Steve McClendon and a 7th for a 6th, I think it was. So it was just to send them. It was just to get them out of here. Get something, give these guys a solid. Like, agents know this stuff. They know what he's doing. He's not a scumbag. He's just tough. He's got his value assessment. He's not going to look. If he says, hey, look, I already have you under contract for 2 years for $23 million. There's no reason, and it's not guaranteed. So if you play like crap this year, I can drop you next year with no worry to me. If you want me to guarantee money for you so you have more security, it's got to be beneficial to me. If not, then I'm going to keep it the way it is because it's beautiful for me. Okay? And it's already high for that position as far as how I value it. So I'm willing to talk. Here's where I am. I'm $9 million a year. And you say, no, we want $14 million. It's okay. Well, I'm not in that neighborhood, so I guess it's over. And you leave it there. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to guarantee you more than I already have you under contract for now if I use the tags. Like, I want my GM to be smart. I don't want my GM to think emotionally. If people get butthurt over it, Mr. Magix, then that is what it is. Like I said, Carl Lawson, Corey Davis, all those guys had no problem coming here. Now, we'd like to see our own players get taken care of, but let's not forget that, these guys, the Jamal Adams was a pain in the ass, and he got incredible value for him. So that's more than likely the one agent. And the other agent is guaranteed to be May. And we all love May. But again, there's a business side to this. And I'd like our GM to say, no, it doesn't make business sense. It makes emotional sense. Yeah, and I love the guy and all that, but it's not. If he gets hurt this year and I owe him $10 or $14 million next year, why would I do that? I already have him for 12 next year if I want him. Why would I do that? So anyway, I like it, and I'm not too concerned about it, man. Now, just to give you the other side, I would love for all press ever written about the Jets to be positive. I would. Honest to God. But at the same time, there are sources of negativity that concern me less. Hearing what Marcus May's agent thinks about Joe Douglas after he stonewalled him doesn't get me upset. Because, look, Marcus May plays for the Jets. And if we want him, he'll play for the Jets next year. And we're probably going to sign him and trade him and get value for him. That's what I think is going to happen anyway. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that happened. Would you? Wouldn't that be better? Let's say he plays this year, and next year we tag him and get a second for him. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Or we just keep him on the franchise tag for $12 million. See? So I like these. Joe Douglas kept options. They wanted to remove his options and pay a premium for it. Like, if you want me to remove my options, then there has to be some give on your end. I'm not going to pay you as a top 3-5 safety in the league and guarantee it and remove my ability to wiggle when I already have it this way. You got to talk me down with some benefit from my end. And that's it. Like, dude, I couldn't like Marcus May more as a player, and I hope that he stays here. I'd love for them to go, you know what, on second thought, let's do 2 years in addition after this year. Let's do 2-3 years, 11.5 a year. Let's do that. Guaranteed. Sure. You know what I mean? Ray Cardoza, what's up, buddy? Master the tool, then get creative. Right. Would you say that's Jeet Kune Do? I don't know if I've heard that one. I'm not familiar with that discipline. Obviously, Taekwondo, a lot of other ones. But that's the thing. You got to master the tool. That's really beautiful, Kadosa. That's beautiful. Like, master the tool, then get creative. So right now they're trying to work on like install, you know what I mean? Like getting everything to where it needs to be. And it's going to be ugly on the way to it. Zach Wilson will save the Jets asks, why does he keep rolling into pressure? I don't know. Maybe the design of the play didn't know that's where the pressure would be coming from. Is that what you mean? Like the design? Or, I don't know. I think that we have a lot of growing to do, guys. We really do. You know what I mean? We have a lot of growing to do. And Jeremy says, let's not be mad at Berrios for playing hard. I'm not mad at Berrios. I think who doesn't want a player like Berrios on the team? He's very versatile. He's willing to do whatever, works his ass off, and he's pretty good, dude. Like, let's be real. Pretty good at it. He's pretty good at his job. That said, he is also very limited. His ceiling is significantly lower than some other guys. And I would rather see those guys get the targets that are going to him. That's all. And I like Berrios. Berrios is the kind of guy that should probably get 3, 4, 5 targets a game. When Corey Davis and Mims are covered. Like, they pulled the attention away and Berrios comes underneath and he gets, 11 yards on a slant. That's what I want to see from Berrios. Green Dog, I wish I knew which one you were. It was definitely great to meet you because I enjoyed meeting so many people, man. I really did. It was like, that was the coolest thing for me. I'm sure you can imagine from my end, like walking around the stadium and having people yell like GreenBean or O'Leary or Ryan. It was like the fucking coolest thing in the world. It really was. It was amazing. So I just love you guys for that. I think it was the coolest thing that I could have possibly experienced. It was amazing. So thank you. And you're welcome for the stickers. Hopefully you're sticking them on stuff. I got more. I have so many more stickers. You know what I forgot to do, Green Dog? I forgot to take my sticker and put it on a couple light poles. Like, I had every intention, not to be a vandal or anything, but like look at a place that has some stickers and stick one on there. I didn't do that once. I forgot. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts? So, but thank you, man. I appreciate it. Which one, which person were you? How would I remember? What did we talk about? Let's see who else we got here. Red Dog rose to the strong side. Yeah, you know what, man? The protection was better this week. It was. And the 4 sacks, yeah, I mean, I could think of, there was at least one time when I yelled to O'Leary, like, you got to get rid of it on 1 sack. You know what I mean? So again, I think he's got to learn. He's got to learn that stuff. You want Evan Neal? You know what's going to be funny, man? If we suck, right? If we really just can't put it together and we end up being like a 2-15 team and we have like the first pick or the second pick or the third pick or something, I know it's going to be stupid. I already know it. But I'm going to be making arguments for this Kyle Hamilton kid. Oh, my God, I love him. I didn't get to watch this last week, so maybe something happened. I don't know. I didn't watch any college football this weekend. So I don't know what happened. But, man, do I like that player. I think he's the first safety to come out that has Ed Reed, Palomalu type impact potential in a long time, man. He's not just a good safety. He's special. So he can catch, he can hit, he can run. Oh my God, smart. He can get. Remember, like how like Palomalu would he'd be on the other side of the field. The pass would go up, and he would somehow get over there to block it or catch it. That's what this guy has. So it's going to be weird, man. It's going to be weird when I'm yelling for a safety, isn't it? Oh, that's right. I do. Well, there was very few of those out there, so I got you. I got you now. Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to be heading down to. It looks pretty. It's pretty good bet right now that I'm going to be going to the Jets Miami game in Miami. So if any of you guys are going to be down there, I would love to hang with you. I'm going to be looking for Jets fans down there. You know, I'm going to do a game from the, I think I'm going to do one live stream from the South Florida Jets fan club. That's where I used to go every weekend to watch football. I did that for years, like 4 years. I was at almost every game there. And I haven't been there in a long time, but I can't wait to go back there and do a live stream from there. But then for the game, I'm going to be trying to find out where the Jets fans are. So if you guys are going, tell me. Tell me where you're going to be. Let's see what Kyle Wilcox has to say. I didn't even read it yet. You just had a lot of words, so I just chose it. This whole season to me is to see how this rookie team, the rookie staff handle the adversity of growing pains and pressure of impatient Jets fans and sensational, idiotic New York media. Yeah, I think you're nailing it. That's what I think. I think that is exactly what's going on. Now, in addition to that, how they play, right? How they play. But all in all, it's the whole package. Are these guys the guys built for this market, for this team, for this era, in this place? Is this the team? Is Bryce Hall the cornerback? Is John Franklin Myers a defensive lineman? Is Quinnen Williams the guy? Is he the guy that's going to get that big contract everybody's talking about? Is that him? Or is he another guy we let walk because he's not worth giving that contract to? Is Jason Pinnock worth developing? Is Michael Carter II a starting nickel? And on and on and on. So that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, I heard a lot of fans talking about the booing of Zach Wilson. I'm going to tell you right now, I booed. Now, I'm not rabid. I wasn't like, if I was close, I wouldn't be throwing shit. You suck. I wouldn't be doing anything like that. But yeah, after that fourth pick, he needs to know we're unhappy. And that's the thing, like what you're talking about. It's like, we're a tough fan base. It's not his fault, but you got to be able to deal with that, in my opinion. Right or wrong, our fans are very bipolar, very passionate, intense. We go real high and we go real low, fast. And look, you know how I feel about the New York media. I think it's a friggin' laughing stock. I think it's a joke. And I think the rest of the country's media knows that. Like they think that they're like the badasses of the NFL. They're not. And everybody knows. They're just the scumbags of it all, for the most part. Not everybody, of course. But I think that's what they are. And yeah, so unfortunately, it's the way it is, though, right? Right, Kyle? It's like, I think you nailed it. But it's like, that's part of the package. Sad to say, but it is. So you got to be able to navigate through that. But it's an interesting one, Friggledy. And that's why they should have kept running the ball, right? It's like, because it was working. But when they went down into the red zone and ran it 3 times and they got stuffed, everybody's freaking out that Zach should have thrown it. You see what I mean? It goes back and forth. It's like they just have to learn and do the things that they feel is best. And we can grumble. That's our right. It's our right to grumble. We've been going through a lot for a long time with this team. You ever see the Curb Your Enthusiasm about the Jets? It's hilarious, dude. If you can remove like your emotional tie to it, I still think even if you're like one of the really angry Jets fans who has no sense of humor, I think that even you can see that it's funny. It'll even break through that, I think. John Anthony, what's up, buddy? Our running backs look good. Who was your favorite performance-wise? My favorite performance-wise, well, running back was Michael Carter, clearly. I mean, I thought he showed a lot of, I'm going to use a word I never use, a lot of moxie. Isn't that a good one? Moxie. Where did they come up with this one? But I do. I think he showed a lot of potential, man, and a lot of heart. Like, that's why I prefer young running backs. Like, and I say it all the time. It's like, get the young legs in there. You know, what do you teach? If anybody's played football from like when you're like 7 years old, coaches teach like with the sled exercise, in addition to being position and all that. But it's really about learning to chop your legs. That's keep moving your legs. Never stop moving your legs. Like kids would hit it and just push. And the coach would say, stop, move your legs. It's about keeping your legs going. And young running backs tend to do that more than older running backs. Not across the board, but young guys tend to bring that with them. Like they hit the pile and they keep running. And I love, and that's, dude, it changes everything. So when somebody's going to come in and they're going to tackle you and they think you're going to go down, but your legs kept moving, and it just turns out that you blew right through them because your legs kept moving and they didn't tackle you efficiently or sufficiently was what I was looking for. So I love that. So I would say Michael Carter brought a lot of that to the game. But I think my favorite performance was probably C.J. Mosley in the whole game. That was the guy that I thought came out of the box for us. You know what I mean? Like game one, I mean, like I said, nobody even talked about it. We've had C.J. Mosley on this team. This is his third year. Week one was the first game he finished for us, that he played the whole game. It was a big deal. But that said, he was very rusty, a little bit sluggish, his mark was off a little bit, you know. But this week I thought he was significantly better, and he was running all over the place. And I was very happy to see that. I really was, man. I'm hoping that guy can become the C.J. Mosley that we bought from the Ravens. You know what I mean? That would be fantastic. And I think he wants to be. You know, I don't think C.J. Mosley's a bad guy. I think he's a true, hardworking, like good-ass football player who wants to be great. And I love that. Mosley proved you wrong. Why? What'd you say, Mr. Magic? You didn't like him? Hey, Braden, what's up, buddy? What's up with Ty Johnson's poor pass blocking PFF score? Is that not part of his game? No, I don't think we knew how bad it was going to be, but clearly he's not good at it. And look, this is one of those things. Did you know that Ty Johnson was kind of a journeyman and he was cut from the Detroit Lions the year we brought him in? It was like mid-season, wasn't it? So we brought him in mid-season because he was cut by Detroit. And then he runs a couple of times. It was like, oh my God, this guy's great. How could they cut him and blah, blah. Now, it's not to say he's not great, but you got to remember there are reasons for this stuff. Now, Detroit's a slapdick organization for the most part, so they can make mistakes much easier than maybe the Ravens or the Steelers. But that said, that might be the piece. It might be that right there. Like, we can't have him in there because he's so bad in pass pro. So, you know, and then we saw that. We saw it. So then when if you have a guy on the field who the defense knows cannot protect the passer, that means there's a good chance that he's not on the field on passing downs, which means the play variety is limited when he's on the field. So that puts your offense at a disadvantage. So when guys like that are limited come on the field, it could theoretically help the defense. So that's why you know, maybe guys like him don't get as much opportunity as a lot of fans think they deserve. When there's a guy like LaMichael Pirine, who is maybe not as explosive of a runner, but is a very good running back, but excels in pass protection. And it's funny because when we used Pirine in 2020, I forget the stat, but I talk about it all the time. I think it was 90%, 85, 90% of the time that Piron came on the field, we ran it to him. Not just ran it, but we ran it to him. So he actually excels in pass protection, yet we only put him in positions to run the ball. So what does that mean? The same thing as like I just said with Ty Johnson, but reversed. When LaMichael Pirine runs on the field, the defense now knows there's a 90% chance that the ball, it's a running play, and it's going to that guy right there. So key on him. So every yard that LaMichael Pirine gets is with those conditions. See what I mean? So having guys on the field that are versatile, that can do more than one thing, is of benefit. That's why I like LaMichael Pirine. Like I said, I'm not saying LaMichael Pirine's the next, why can't I think of a single running back? I was thinking of the guy, let's say Emmitt Smith. God's sakes, I'm tired, huh? But like when you look at a guy like that, like I said, I'm not saying he's the next great running back, but he's a benefit. And a lot of people undervalue that stuff, in my opinion. It's really important. It's really important, man. So let's see. Jets Tales. I actually looked this up once. Moxie was created around 1876 by Augustine Thompson as a patent medicine called Moxie Nerve Food. I need more. You gotta finish that though. So how did Moxie get over from that to what I just said about who did I use that for? Oh, Michael Carter the first. Oh, that's a good point. I never, you know why? Because I never remind anybody. I always forget this stuff. I'm sorry. It's really helpful if you guys hit the like button. So easy. It's really helpful. It helps the stream. Your comments help the stream. And if you would like to support me, you can subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, it would be really fantastic if you could. And if you'd like to help me out more, support me, don't forget. It's like somebody busted Ryan's balls today about having an ad on his show. It's like, guys, we put in, just so many hours creating this stuff for you guys, spending the time and everything, and it's free. So if you guys want to support me, help me out with that, justify my time away from my lovely wife, you can support me on Patreon. The information is in the description of this video. Real simple. And there's extra benefits to that as well. So it was a type of soda. That's what he said. But how did we say that? Is it from the soda? So anyway, like the video, subscribe, and support me on Patreon. It would be greatly appreciated. With CJ Mosley, too, there was all the talk about trading him. And I think that they would have if it wasn't for that contract. I really do. I think they would have traded CJ Mosley to continue the youth movement. Now, we know now what a mistake that would have been, not only because he's playing well, but because we're decimated. We're signing linebackers and safeties off the street, just like last year with the wide receivers. It's crazy. The good news is we're not alone. And I don't mean that good news, but I'm just saying it's not specifically a Jets issue. Like many teams are just blown up with the injuries. I got to move my seat. Hold on a second here. I got to move over a little bit. Hold on. There we go. Oh, that's better. I was sitting between all night for 3 hours. I've been sitting between two cushions. You know what I mean? I was sitting here on the... What's wrong with me? I did that for 3 hours. I feel so good right now. Let me get the mic over here, though. How's that? Do I get my like Frankie? Hey, everybody. Did I ever tell you about the CJ Mosley trade? Right, Frankie from Flatbush. Thank you. I'll be here all week. All right, let's see. Hanover Fist. Hit the like button. There you go. I like that. Hanover Fist. I get it. I got it. Who do I want in the draft? Well, J. Cole, let me be real honest and tell you, I really hope I don't have to start thinking like that so early this year. But what I will tell you, like I was just saying, is I'm really big on defense this year. I'd like to go defense. Where the last few years I was totally offense. I really would like some edge like some dynamic Chase Young style edge rusher help. But I love Kyle Hamilton. I know it's a safety. Imagine we get the number 1 pick in the draft. And like, just imagine for a second, we get the number 1 pick in the draft and don't need a quarterback. What we could do with that? Trade back to spot 4 for 3 firsts and still get Thibodeau or Kyle Hamilton. Would it be okay if he traded back, got 3 firsts, and took a safety that high? I don't know. It's going to be hard to get past that, taking a safety that early. You got to go edge, in my opinion. So Jets tells, we're continuing the Moxie thing. I like this. This is good. I looked it up because Moxie is a great brand of medical marijuana around here. It was one of the first sodas ever created, and the carbonation was thought to be a daring move. Interesting. I like how you put that in quotes. You wouldn't want us to mistake you for using that collection of words, right? I was like, nope, that's what they said. Daring move. I wouldn't talk like that. That's funny. Ooh, look at this, though. Jets Tales. George Bazala says, Moxie, I think it says, it was that Mixie. The brand may be from the Native American Abenaki word for dark water from Maine, lake and river names. Interesting. This is good. You guys are smart folks. Maybe you just Googling, I don't know. But I like it nonetheless. What's up, Bob? It's not the ads that bother me. It's the betting ads I object to. Need to go back to ball grooming. Yeah. I hear you. It's funny. Why you guys want to hear a short story? Short. So I got a couple offers from betting apps, and I don't judge anybody for doing anything. But so far, and I even had a really deep discussion, not deep, but I had a discussion with one about I needed to know what exactly they did and how they did everything because I care. I said, look, I have specific reasons for why this particular ad might not work with me. So I need to know. I said, I really need to know what it is that I'm going to be telling my listeners to do. So because I'm a gambling addict, I said, I don't judge or think it's wrong to gamble. I don't. Just like I don't think it's wrong to drink or smoke crack. I'm just kidding. But I don't think it's wrong to do any of that stuff. But for me, to tell you guys that I'm a gambling addict doesn't gamble, and then to promote gambling just doesn't feel like it fits on my channel, you know? So I'm out there. I'm checking some things out, but you know, it's nice to get that help. If you guys all supported me on Patreon, I would never have to do an ad. What do you think of that? Huh? If you guys all subbed to this and Full-Time Coaster Tour and supported me on Patreon, I would never do ads. Deal? Never. How's that? Listener supported streaming. 100%. Right, Frankie? You know it. I like you, man. I think Frankie's going to be on the Thursday Thick of It this week, aren't you, Frankie? He's going to bring his smooth stylings to this part of the world. I do impersonate you, but you're not around, Jeremy. That's all. I do it. He says I never impersonate him. I do. You're not here. I do it behind your back. That's why. It's different. So Amarillo, what's up, dude? We were talking about you a little while ago. But John, we saw John again. John's the best, man. You're such a good dude, man. But yeah, we got to hang out at the game again. That was super cool. He says, I want a defensive end, right guard, tight end, and look forward to not needing a cornerback. Right. But, and I agree with you 100%. But when you see a special player at a position of need, like I think we need safety. I do. I think we need it. Marcus May is more than likely not going to be here. But even if he is, we saw it. Ashton Davis is so far undependable. Marcus Joyner's out for the year. And we just signed and cut a safety already who played. He's the one who gave up the Robbie Anderson touchdown. Thanks, Red Wine. came on board, gave us the dagger we didn't want to see, the one play, and then he's gone. Goodbye. That's his contribution to our Jets fandom. Isn't that nice of him? So I think if you have a truly special player at a position of need, you might want to consider it. I know it's tough to think of safeties that high. I get it. And I don't disagree. I think the number one need for this team should be edge. And I think we should take a guard within the first 2 rounds. Maybe like second round guard. Or center for that matter. Whatever one's better. So what's up? Yeah, thank you, Frankie. There's a $5 tier. $5 tier gets you access to the Discord server. We chat in there every Wednesday. I hang out in there, and some other stuff. I'm putting some different. I'm putting up together content that's specific to Patreon too. The $10 tier gets you, and the $25 tier they get you access to the early release of the podcast and all that jazz. So, but yeah, man, it's helpful. So, all right, guys, I'm winding down here. It's been an hour and 47 minutes, or an hour and 17 minutes, I should say. But I'll do a couple more. So he says, Gator McCluskey says, what's up, Gator McCluskey? He says, what if the Jets brought in Cam Newton to work with Zach, build some exciting third down packages with him in there to run, great veteran presence, plus he hands over the Belichick secrets. Hey, man, I mean, you have some firm reasons why that could be a positive. I don't know. I don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I think they're just really trying to do this their way. They have their team. They got Josh Johnson in there for that veteran leadership piece. Cam Newton's he's an interesting fella too. A lot of demands a lot of attention just with his personality. Good guy. He's not negative, but I think he's a little bit more than they're looking for. But yeah, it'd be nice to kind of be able to throw him in there and have some stuff. But, so I don't know. What's up, David Gerard? I see you. I think if someone is willing, Jets should trade picks for a right guard tomorrow, man. Get a guy in there. Get in here. This right guard is going to get our quarterback killed. Yeah, I don't know. Sucks with Cam Clark, man. In my opinion, that was the design. They wanted him to win the job, and he would have. He's better than Van Roten. But I don't know. Let's watch and see how it goes. I mean, you're bringing in another guy right now. The biggest thing with offensive line is cohesion, being able to work together. So I don't know, but I hear you, and I get it totally. So they're not liking the Cam Newton thing, Gator. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here. I love you guys. I think I'm crashing hard suddenly. Last 10 minutes, I'm having a hard time even thinking. I'm kind of toast. It's been a long one, a long weekend, guys. But hey, here I'll leave you with this. Be encouraged. Like, it's gonna be rough, but guys, the improvement was undeniable. In many aspects, C.J. Mosley, Elijah Moore, the drop passes thing, the offensive line, the running game. It was all improved from 1 week, the first week to this week. It shows, dude, we're working. We're working on stuff. This team is packed full of talent, albeit maybe not world-class talent yet. Guys are still needing to develop, Elijah Moore and all that, But guys, we have talent. We're not a bunch of bums. We have positions of weakness, yes, but we have talent on this team. Joe Douglas has done a pretty good job tearing this down and restocking, and it's all young guys that we can build with. So I'm still excited. I do not feel that sky is falling, end of the world thing yet. This year is Look, we said it a million times. It's an evaluation year. It clearly is that. We're going to watch them work. I just hope that our coaching staff is up to the job. That's the only question I really have. And obviously other players and all that kind of stuff. But the big question for me is, are these coaches going to develop? Because the coaches are developing too. So, all right, guys, don't forget to like the stream. Good night, Jets Tales. Good night, guys. All gas, no gas. I'm with it, Hanover. That's all right, David Gerard. You're around, buddy. I see you. I see you around. So I'll release the podcast tomorrow. You guys keep your heads up. We're on to something here, man. We're on this. We're gonna have some fun. I promise. You guys have a good night. Thanks. Like, subscribe, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for all you do for me. I appreciate it. Good night.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
We compete today. I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. It works the best, right?
This is when the Colts had Peyton Manning waiting there because he didn't come out the year before because Parcells, our brilliant head coach, decided not to tell Archie Manning he couldn't guarantee that he would take his kid first. It's just the stupidest thing. You know, history could have been totally different for us, Jets fans, but it's not. And it sucks because Parcells is one of the greatest coaches we've ever had, if not the greatest. So how can you complain? You can't. I hate that prison cell. I hate it. I want to yell. I want to bitch about it, but I can't. Because Parcells was good. Traded back. Got James Farrier and Dedrick Ward out of that one. That's what I think.